is Champagne.
This is Treva.
And this is Lynn.
Yes. And today we're going to be discussing The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. What, you like that? Yeah. Okay. So The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind is what we're going to be discussing today. Novel by William Kamkwamba and Bryan Mealer. And the movie was directed by Chiwetel Ejiofor. Did I get that? Can you listen? I think I got that.
Let's talk about the book.
Okay.
The story was about someone in a certain condition that rises above it, regardless of all the obstacles that was thrown in his way, and he was able to just sort of succeed. And I love those types of stories.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I enjoyed the book.
I enjoyed the book as well.
The book for me was a little bit of a slow read, but once I got into it, I definitely enjoyed the book.
It definitely was a feel-good story, and I enjoyed that. It was a little slow to start.
Thank you for coming up with a terminology that I could think of.
Feel good story.
I'm always here for you.
I appreciate it.
I got you.
Like it was sitting right there.
I know.
Oh, the feel good story. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I knew you were getting there. I mean, but the person that's like, feel-good story. So I was like, I'm going to slide it in there easily. But yes, I do love that feel-good story. But it was a little slow to start with, and then it ended amazing with a side of thunder.
Can we harness that wind? If we can harness that wind right now. Yeah, I love this. I love this story. I loved everything about it. I love the way it was written. It was very easy for me to follow. You know, sometimes when there's a lot of, I wouldn't say history, but I guess a lot of talk about what's going on there in the town, how they lived, the different things about how the struggles with having to go to school and things of that nature. Sometimes I get lost in that, but I felt like it kept me interested.
Yeah. But I kind of felt that it did get me a little lost in the beginning because it was talking about animals and lions and the pride, and I got a little lost at that part. But I of course caught myself back up, but that part to me wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
I felt like it was trying to get you in that mode of family, almost like, Lion King or something like that. Like, that's why I was talking about the pride and the animals, and you follow with the pride. I don't know. But
like the pack of a community or
something like that, yeah.
Village.
I think I'm following you on that analogy. I think I'm here. Yeah.
Or are you though?
I think.
You don't like the trees and the roots, so I'm not really sure what you're following.
Right, no, but I'm just saying I'm following you that whole pact and pride, because one thing that did come out in the book, in addition to in the movie, was that the community, they were coming together when they were just in desperate need. Some of them would just have a little bit of food, and they would kind of feed the neighbor, and so I feel that whole community vibe.
It's just amazing to me. I didn't know those types of stories. I mean, I know there were hard times, but that was just amazing to me how the, president or chief or whoever, how people mask what's really going on, and how you can just get on, a national level and say that people are doing well when these people are starving. And I guess the reality of that hit me with reading this book.
Exactly. Because that was very hard.
It was very hard.
And you're thinking like, dude, people in your country are dying.
Yeah.
And he didn't care.
The one thing that I wish they did with the movie was portray that even more.
Yes.
Because I felt like it was not downplayed, but kind of graced upon. And I feel that way because in the book, they were describing like the thousands of people that were dying, not just from starvation, but from malaria and all the other complications that we're having with starvation. And in the movie, it kind of just, there was a few graves that we saw, but I feel like they should have touched on further in the movie about that detrimental impact that the president did not do anything to help his people.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
So on to the movie discussion.
I had to jump in there. I'm sorry.
No, I like that. It was a great transition. I enjoyed the movie. I actually think this was a perfect example of how you can modify the story to make it more cinema friendly, but still maintain the integrity of the story, because I feel like it really was the same story when you were watching the movie, and they made some modifications. Some other modifications did irritate me, but I felt like it was a great adaptation.
Yeah.
I just felt like I wanted more on what it took for him to get to building the windmill.
Yeah, because they took out the whole junkyard.
Yeah, they took her completely.
Yes.
Which that was one of the things that irritated me.
I mean, there were a couple of junkyard scenes, but it wasn't, to me, I did not get out of the movie that literally this kid went there day after day after day, like digging through garbage to find what he needed. So it didn't seem like it was as much of a struggle. It just kind of was like, the friends jumped in, they started helping. And then I also didn't like that switch of kind of, then no one was helping him except his father. Because that, I don't remember that in the book in the end.
No, it wasn't. I mean, in the book, he was making that windmill. You're right. He was going to the junkyard. His two friends were helping him, loaning him money to get the parts that he needed. Like, even remember when he went to go to the welder to get it welded? Like,
Gilbert was helping him a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
But in the movie, it was like a community effort. It was like a whole group of people helping him put this stuff together.
It made me play back into the beginning about how we were talking about a lion's pride in a village, and maybe they were trying to
portray it,
trying to like bring that right back around to show community.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And not necessarily portray their country in a negative note as well. Because I think it may have portrayed them more negatively if they stayed more true to the book. However, if you're starving, you're going to do what you got to do to survive. Right. You're going to rob more. You're going to do everyone wants to survive. So you're going to do what you have to do for your family. And I felt like a little bit of that was kind of left out. But it might have been to, not put them in such a negative light. I don't know.
I love the fact that his schoolmates were calling him the crazy junkyard kid. Mm-hmm. And everybody just was throwing stuff, not physically throwing stuff, but just hitting him with all of this. What are you doing? You're crazy. And then boom, he builds this thing. He lights up the house. Like, that was the feel-good part of the book for me.
Yes.
And so the movie missed that.
Yes.
To me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Especially with the small steps, the little small, I guess, hurdles that he was accomplishing, especially with adding light to the house and then it progressing to that milestone. He went to the next one, which ended up leading to the windmill. But those little small successes that he did have, I didn't get that feeling in the movie.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I also didn't get as strong of a feeling about his drive to try to attend school. I mean, they did touch on it. It was showed, but I just felt like you're thinking about this kid who's also trying to build something to save his community, but also not trying to let go of school. And I just think that wasn't as deep as I thought it should have been as well.
Yeah.
It was good, though. Really liked the book.
What did you guys think about the role of his sister in the book versus the movie?
Yeah.
Annie. Like, I'm like, wait a minute. Why is this like a whole 20 minutes about Annie? Because I don't know what happened. Annie was there and then Annie left in the book. And then, I don't know, it just went on too long for me.
So I kind of like the love story because at least we saw it building up. In the book, it was sort of like, oh, I'm here, and then all of a sudden I'm leaving with this person I'm in love with. So in the movie, we kind of saw that she had like saw them looking at each other.
Little crush.
And that something was going on. So I did appreciate that, but it did get a lot of time.
I would have rather had more time spent on him building the windmill. Or the struggle with him building the windmill. Or the struggle of showing how far he had to go to get these parts. Something that showed a little bit more about that. I felt like I would have enjoyed more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Annie definitely was in and out. In the book. I feel like these two people came to the house and next thing you know, she left with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, they didn't flesh that out in the book at all. So I guess they took the opportunity to do it in the movie. And then they also got rid of the other sister, which...
Yes.
I don't know, there was a part in the book where she was kind of taking more food than she needed to.
Right. And they were arguing. They were arguing.
Yeah, so she disappeared in the movie, right?
Yeah, it was a baby instead.
No, it should have been 3 girls.
It should have been 3 girls.
Oh.
It was the 2 girls and then the baby.
Oh.
And then Annie left and it was just him and the sister that used to argue over silly stuff.
Gotcha.
That siblings do.
Yeah.
And then some of the failures, I think, would have been good to show. Like, remember when he almost burned his house down in the book?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, to me, that's what I think those are the struggles you want to see.
That shows that drive to improve and be better.
Yeah.
That they missed.
Yeah, I think that part was missed. How did you guys like the characters? The casting?
I actually like the characters.
I did, too.
Yeah.
I love the cast.
William, Dad, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I mean, I just think he's going to nail anything.
Oh, no. I said William, Dad.
I don't know who
Troy
that was.
Will.
What's that? I know you're talking about the dad. You're talking about the dad.
Right. Yeah, but I said William.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Trilo. I mean, I think I've never seen him play anything that he didn't do a good job.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
I'm a big fan of his.
And he did a great job directing this.
Pronouncing the name. How do you pronounce his name again?
Chiwetel?
Yeah. Chiwetel nails every
single
role he
one.
takes to me.
Isn't that odd how people can just play different roles? I mean, he is one of those people that can just morph himself into his role, like a true actor.
One of the things that I thought about was, does he naturally speak that language? I don't know what language it was. I tried to Google it, but that wasn't happening very well. But whatever language they speak in Malawi.
I don't know.
Because he was so fluent and like the precision of how it just kind of blended all together. I didn't know if he was a native speaker of that language or if he just mastered it that well to sound fluid.
I don't know.
It's interesting. Do you remember the movie Homicide? Mm-hmm. Do you remember he was the translator?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I remember reading an article on how he was saying that he did not know that language. It wasn't his first language, and he had to study it. And people were just talking about how he mastered.
Oh, wow.
That dialect.
Well, there you go.
Dad. So that may be why whether or not, it just seems like he's a master of
he's a true actor.
The dialect.
He's a true actor.
He really is.
He's a true
secret linguist, hidden talent too.
Yeah. Master of his craft, because a lot of people nowadays don't study enough. And then Agnes, Mom, great job. I loved her.
I loved her too.
She's a very strong black woman.
Oh, I loved her.
And I love how she stood up to him in like the little small nuances that the dad, with like not even supporting William or even just giving the bike. I love her, like her body language was like, oh, so you think that your say is going to be the final say? And you can really tell.
Runs this household.
Exactly, you could tell that, and her body language and her mannerisms really showed that, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
How do you say her name? What was that? That actress. Aisa. I don't know how to say it.
But
Gia.
Maiga.
Maiga.
But yeah, I thought she did a great job.
But the way they write her name, the I's have the 2 dots, and that gives it a different pronunciation. But I can't remember. Sorry.
We're not English majors. At least I am not. Major of anything. And my doggy. They changed that too in the movie.
Yeah,
like how the dog died.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little more
bearable.
Yeah. I know.
I was devastated in the book.
Me too.
I was
the way that went down.
I was too, but I think it was.
That was his ride or die.
It was his ride or die. It was his ride or die.
And how in the beginning where he was sitting outside waiting for him after school, just was like, it warmed my heart.
It did. And I was recalling in the book, I don't remember the dad fussing at him about feeding the dog. But in the movie he kind of yelled at him like, don't feed that dog our food no more.
I don't remember that in the book either.
I don't remember that either. But that dog really helped take care of him and try to save the family. But I guess you're right. People would have, PETA or somebody would have been mad about how it came across in the movie if it had stuck to the book. Yeah. Not going to tell you how. Read the book and then you'll know.
But I think that's one of the modifications to make it more cinema friendly that I think work well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even, for me anyway, because like I said, I was devastated. And the town, like just the background and the scenery, like even the market that they talked about. All of that was how I envisioned it, even though I have never been to Africa.
Should they go there? I mean, was it actually filmed there? Because that's what I was wondering. I did not Google that to figure it out. But it just looked so realistic to me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bricks on the house and how they're not necessarily perfectly even because, they're being done by hand and they don't have the same tools and, all of that kind of stuff I looked at. Even the tools that they were using. I kind of felt like they should have showed a few more people actually working. When he was getting ready to demonstrate the windmill, then I saw a lot of people out there kind of working the field. But I didn't necessarily notice that a lot in the beginning. And I don't know if I missed it or dozed off. It seemed like he was by
himself.
Yeah. It did.
Working the whole field.
It did. So that kind of threw me. I really would have liked more about building. I just wanted more.
Well, and then the last thing, at the end of the story in the book, he hadn't completed the water piece of it before he went to the conferences. Remember? And he got sponsors to come back and help him build the water.
Right. Build more.
But in the book, in the movie, they showed them in the field working it and then the water dripping down and everybody's excited about it. I actually like that because it was sort of like he made that accomplishment. He didn't have anybody come in and help him with that. But I would be interested in knowing like which was closer to the truth.
I would have liked to see him, like in the book, in the movie, like when he got a chance to come to America.
Yeah, his travels and how he felt when he got to
so excited.
Be on a plane.
Right, exactly.
His first skyscraper.
Time. Yeah, I would have liked to see that.
You know what? You're right. To be honest, the description of it was just like great.
So humbling.
Like we never been there. Like, oh my God, really?
But to be honest, this really could have been one of those 2-part series. You know, like on Netflix or something. Mm-hmm. It could have been a 2-part series because the first part, if they had went more in depth about what he was going through and how he got to the point of even getting the first model built, then part 2 could have been more about him moving on and U.S. and where he's come from. And it also could have talked about, what has gone. They could have added more about what has gone on since then because we don't know that from the book.
Right. You're right.
It was kind of abrupt from the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did like how they summarized everything in the end by writing it and showing little pictures because at first I was like, what the heck is this the end?
Right. You needed that for closure when I was watching it too. I was like, okay, like I need them to bring some closure to the story.
And I'm glad that they showed the actual people.
Yeah.
And it's funny, not funny, but remember when her mom, the mother, Agnes, told the daughter that I don't want you to be just a wife. And she ended up having kids and being a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
Because she was good in school.
Yeah, because she was great in school, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that didn't come out at all.
Yeah.
But
you think so?
When they were sitting in the bedroom having the conversation about whether they could afford
to send her to school.
Yeah, or send him to school.
Right.
Because she wanted to go to university. And
he was like, what about me, kind of thing.
I feel like in the movie they did express that her brain was just as smart and powerful after her family's side. But I feel like Annie, I got a little punch they put in there, but I feel like Annie, that they really wanted her to go to school and not just be that stay-at-home mom because she was so smart, just like William.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were sharp. That was a sharp family.
No, yeah, they were very smart, even though people called them crazy.
Right.
In the beginning. They're very, very smart.
But most geniuses are labeled as crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people call me crazy all the time.
Me too.
Womp womp. I knew that was coming.
Set yourself up for that one.
All right, so let's get to the rating. What do you all think about this adaptation? Rhea?
I loved it. Full glass for me. Full glass for me. I love the book. Love the movie. Loved how they brought it on. I mean, there were a few things that I didn't like that were missed. But all in all, I loved it.
I would agree. I'm going to give it a full glass also. I think the end, they could have done a lot more with and made it seem, I guess gave us more of a conclusion. But from book to movie, I liked everything. So I give it a full glass.
Yeah, and I agree. Full glass for Treva.
And I also agree. Full glass. Still, the book itself was a little slow starting out, but I definitely like both of them.
So this one gets a full bottle.
Full bottle of wine. Woo, woo, woo.
I'm drinking.
I really wish you guys could see what's going on in here. That is a sight to be seen.
What you mean? Thank you to Alani Winery for supplying us our bottle today for this bottle of super Tuscan wine that we're having with today's podcast.
Ooh, yum.
Yum.
Delicious.
What?
Maybe I've had too much of that wine.
Let me just take your glass.
All right, so catch us on the next episode. Looking forward to your comments, any reviews or any feedback you have for us.
Follow us on Instagram
At Read, Watch, Wine.
Yeah, subscribe, rate us, let us know how we're doing, give us a review. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.